Ladies and gentlemen, our inductee, Mike Jennings. The first 100 years of Marshall County Guntersville Wildcat football produced lots of big plays, like the 1927 Sam Means to Mac Moss pass for the first ever win over Albertville 6-0, and the Aggies came into that game unbeaten. Then in 1967, who could ever forget the David Amato field goal on the last play of the game to defeat heavily favored Huntsville 9-7. For the first 100 years of Wildcat football, here is the biggest play of the century from our inductee from the 1967 game, the Wildcats on their way to a 9-1 regular season and to the state playoffs. They eliminated the unbeaten Jim Glover Etowah Blue Devils. After falling behind 14-0, the Wildcats stormed back for a 21-14 victory on this play with Big Mike Jennings.
Big Mike's running across the 45, across the 50. He's down to the 45. He's going all the way for a touchdown.
Here is an interview with Mike Jennings following the 1967 season.
I'm Mike Jennings, number 14. My parents are Mr. and Miss E.M. Jennings.
And Mike, how many years have you been playing football?
3 years in high school.
And what do you consider your best game since you've been a Wildcat?
Well, I don't know. Played pretty good against Albertville, I guess.
The Albertville game. Okay, thank you, Mike.
One of the elite players of the century, Mike Jennings, in 1967 against Albertville in a 42-19 win, scored 4 touchdowns via the rush. He had another one called back, several big runs in the game, and he threw 2 touchdown passes. Mike Jennings made the Super All-State Football first team. He was joined on that team by running back Johnny Musso, quarterback Pat Sullivan, and end Terry Beasley. And then he signed with Auburn.
Mike Jennings signed with Auburn University. We talked with Mike at the signing.
I'd like to ask you, what was the deciding factor in choosing Auburn? I know that you were offered several scholarships, and what was the deciding factor in choosing Auburn?
Well, there were several reasons, really, and nothing in particular. I just liked the place, and I liked the people down there. And, of course, I guess Coach Oliver been down there did have a little bit to do with it. I'd like to be coach under him again.
Coach Oliver was your coach when you were a sophomore here at Marshall County High School, and a junior, is that? As a sophomore.
Only a sophomore.
We also talked with Coach Oliver of the Auburn coaching staff, who signed Mike Jennings, the big fullback for Marshall Wildcat. We asked him about Mike and Auburn.
Well, we always tried to get good football players, and ever since I came to Guntersville, I remember back all the way when Mike was a 9th grader, he showed the potential that he was going to be a good football player then, and his last year when I was here, he was a sophomore, and as everybody knows, he had a little accident with his neck when he was a sophomore, and he came back and did a good job, and people like this have a lot of character, and this is exactly what we're looking for, is good football players and character, which Mike has.
The summer before enrolling at Auburn, Mike was killed in an auto accident on the Arab Causeway. Mike Jennings.
Again, the top players of the century. For Player of the Century are Don Fuel, Melton LeCroy, and Mike Jennings.
Yes, when it comes to choosing the Player of the Century, Mike Jennings was in the top 3. The son of Earl and Judy Jennings was a 190-pound workhorse fullback for the Wildcats. Today, he is survived by his younger sisters, Kelly Windsor and Patty Lee. The legend of Mike Jennings lives on. Ladies and gentlemen, our inductee, Mike Jennings.